Hey, it's Arroe. It's time for Podfest, episode number 24. 3 back-to-back conversations with real people that we know through entertainment, politics, science, medical, or even cooking in our own kitchen. Podfest 24 features my conversation with the king of fried food, Abel Fried Jesus Gonzales from Deep Fried Dynasty on A&E. Then we're going to jump into a hard-pounding conversation with pro wrestler Abilene Maverick from WOW, Women of Wrestling. And we'll wrap things up with Brian Welch from the group KORN. This is Podfest. Unplugged and totally uncut with Abel Fried Jesus Gonzales.
Peachy keen. Can't complain at all.
Do you know how long it's been since I've heard peachy keen? I love it. I think what we need to do is we need to go get some deep fried food and take it over there to Russia and say, guys, you need to lighten up a bit here, man. This is what we got to do. Eat some fried food.
Definitely need to eat some fried food. It's the start of any nutritional breakfast.
I love what you're doing. Was this your original idea to step up with A&E and say, look, I want to go to this fair because fairs really do feature some of the greatest fried food on the planet?
I wish I could take credit for that, but it was not my idea. Somebody at A&E's think tank came up with the idea.
But you still have the image, though, dude. I mean, because you are that guy. You are the fried Jesus.
I am that dude. It seems that way. I do get called that a lot. That's for sure.
Now, one of the things that listeners around the world, because, you know, we do reach around on iHeartRadio, and they need to understand that you know, it's not just in Texas where fried food is the thing. I mean, because even here in the Carolinas, I mean, that's the reason why so many people go to the fair.
Yeah, well, you know, fried food, it became a huge thing about 10 plus years ago. And I think it was because of all the innovations that we started here in Texas that really led to it, like fried butter and fried PB&J, and people were trying to come up with that next big fried food. It's a huge thing here all over the United States.
Why fried butter? Because I don't eat regular butter by itself. What's the scoop on that?
It was the name. It started with the name. It's just the thought of trying to fry fat inside of another fat just had some sort of appeal to me. And then I backwards worked it out from there. I try to make it good so that I just wasn't dunking a big stick of butter inside fat.
My first fried test was basically with an Oreo cookie. And I'll tell you what, dude, I really loved it.
Well, that's the key. You know, it's not just frying something. It's making it delicious. Fried Oreos, I mean, that is deliciousness. I love them. I don't make them myself, but I'm the first one in line to get some. Now,
is it true that you'll fry anything?
Pretty much. I have fried just about anything. I remember frying, in particular, this gentleman's wallet, money and all.
What?
Took it and battered it and deep fried it, and yeah, that's what he wanted. It was definitely picture worthy.
So is the secret in the batter, and what do you put in the batter?
Well, there is lots of ways to fry something. The batter is the easiest way, and it works for most applications. But there's also like crumbs. There's also like wrapping it in like a bread dough. There's lots of ways to fry something. I always call it, you have to protect the baby, and the baby is whatever you're frying at that moment.
And we're talking about deep frying, right?
Yes, sir.
And the only reason why I bring that up is because I have become such an air fryer, and I stick everything in there.
Well, here's the thing. If you're at home and you're working with an air fryer, the challenge should be, hey, these dudes are making it with deep frying. How do I make it with air frying it? And just about everything that we're doing in a deep fryer, you can pretty much do it in an air fryer.
Has anything shocked you?
Oh, no, I'm the one who's shocked. At this point, nothing is shocking me.
I would love to see the picture of you as a child, because things like this don't come at you when in adult shoes. You had to have been playing around in your mother's kitchen when you were a kid.
Well, my father always had restaurants, and that's a big part of it. I was always stuck in the kitchen. And the other part of it is that we're just a huge fair family. I mean, I have pictures of me in a baby carrier going to the fair. So that was the two combinations. I think they just worked well together.
Now, I realize that Deep Fried Dynasty on A&E takes place in Texas, but you know this is going to have to turn into a thing where you go around the globe. Is that in the making?
I would hope so, but I think we're testing the waters now, putting our feet in that water, trying to check temperature here in Texas. And I just think that people are really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, because I mean, every state has a state fair, and when you go to a state fair, to me, it's more than the music, it's more than the rides, it's the fried food.
Well, I think what the show is really doing, though, is showcasing fried foods, because that is what grabs you right away. It's like, what are these people doing this year? That's what makes you go to the fair a lot of times, is to see the new fried foods. But the show really opens up the curtains to, who are these crazies that are actually making this fried food? What are they like? Who is this guy that came up with fried butter? What is he, completely bonkers or what? And I think you'll see that, yeah, we are a little bonkers, but we're just hardcore businessmen at the end of the day.
Well, let's talk about that, the businessmen of it. And what you've done with A&E on Deep Fried Dynasty is you've turned this into a competition, because each one of those people have something that they fry, and they've got to make some money. I mean, and that's the only way you're going to win this game.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we are there. No matter what you're doing there, no matter what you're frying, you have to make a profit. And if you're not doing it for a profit, why are you there? There's no point in it. You can sell fried food wherever with a lot less overhead costs. But at the fair, it's all about how much money can you rake in those 24 days.
Are they allowed in those 24 days to switch the menu?
You are not allowed to switch the menu. You came in with what you came in, and you're just going to have to bucket for those 24 days.
And are we going to do we get marketing and stuff like that? Because I'd be out there doing pamphlets. I'd be out there pushing it, in the parking lots, saying, hey, here's a free sample of this.
We do that, but it's definitely with a fair slant. I mean, you're talking about barking at your customers from your booth. You're talking about trying to get those people that are just walking by, trying to get anything you can do to get people's attention so that they come to your booth and try what you're selling.
Well, I totally get that, because I'm in the movie promotions business, and we do guerrilla marketing all the time. Plus, I'm also a mobile DJ, and we do wedding shows all over the South. I mean, I totally understand where you've got, how many seconds? 7 seconds to get the attention of a passerby?
Less than that. I'm telling you, these people are going to go ride a ride, go see a show, go do this, go do that. And they're just not even paying attention to your booth a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And you just got to get their attention. You got to, hey, little girl, what are you doing? Hey, sir, come on over here. What are you doing? You need a refill on that? You need that? Your hand is empty. You need a fried butter in that hand. Stuff like that happens all the time.
Yeah, because in reality, you can't allow the scent of your fried food win, because when you go to a fair, it's mixed in with even the cows down the road.
You're competing with everything. Location is key as well. You don't want to be next to the rides per se, because then you're competing with the rides. People don't have unlimited funds. So it's whether I'm going to eat this delicious fried goodness or I'm going to ride the Ferris wheel. It's all about the competition of it.
Dude, you bring up a really good point there, because I mean, like I said, I do wedding shows and stuff like that, and we get to pick the booth. Do these people get to pick their booth as well when they go to the state fair?
Oh, no. It's the other part of it is that you actually have a partner in this whole deal, and that is the fair that you're participating with. And they set parameters. They tell you where you're going to be and how you do things. They have their own set of rules, and you have to play nice with them because you're in business with them.
Now, what are you going to do when these cheap knockoffs are going to try to steal from your show, Deep Fried Dynasty? Because I could totally see the Charlotte Speedway doing something like this out there in the front before a NASCAR race.
Well, the only thing I can say is that it's not Texas. And over here in Texas, we do everything bigger and better.
All right. Now, those are fighting words, okay? Because I'm here in Carolina. Now, do you deep fry ribs? Because if you do you anything barbecued or anything like that?
I do not personally deep fried ribs. I've deep fried brisket before. We do have deep fried ribs at the state fair. Barbecue is huge here in Texas. And you best believe that anything related to barbecue has been fried.
Now, is it my imagination, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear to you that every time I go to a fair around the Carolinas, the bathrooms are always next or pretty close to the deep fried area.
I think that's a myth. Let me tell you, if there's any correlation between that, whoever's frying that food is frying it wrong.
Oh, God. Do you ever have people come up to you saying, fried food is just not good for you? See, when I grew up in Montana, on fried food, man, I think it's absolutely incredible for you.
Well, what we're doing is not for everyone.
You're right.
There are people that are just like, that's gross. I don't want to have it. I'm not going to deal with that. And that's fine. I mean, but we're not catering to that crowd. Yeah. We're catering to the crowd that goes out and wants to have fun, goes for the entire fair experience. We're really not that much different than the thrill rides. We're thrill foods.
So now, let me ask you let's play this game now. In the way, do you go up to those that are competing on Deep Fried Dynasty and say, you're in your booth, it's a 10 by 10, or it could be a 10 by 20, but you cannot go more than 5 feet away from your booth. You have to stay within a certain area.
Oh no, that is not a rule. You can move around. You can go try to get that money any way you can.
Really? Because I mean, you can go onto the competitor's territory, because I would be having a stinking fit if somebody was in my area.
Well, the thing with us is that like my booth in particular, we're right next to a competitor that all they do is fried food. So we're battling for the same crowd, walking the same beat, passing the same booth, and you're just trying to grab what you can, and hopefully your food is going to outshine their food.
Do you give them the stink eye during the day?
That's been known to happen.
Yeah, because you're trying to figure out, okay, why all of a sudden are they drawn to that area? And you're sitting there going, geez, I can give you guys a better flavor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the salesmanship. Showmanship out there at the fair is everything, plus your food. What's grabbing the attention? What is that food for that year that's really going to make a dent? And you have to shine so that you can beat your competitors, so they are running to your booth instead of theirs.
How well would deep fried bologna taste, or are those days over?
Deep fried bologna is delicious.
Yes.
I've done it. It's really good. It's really good. If you're a fan of bologna sandwich, especially like a smoked bologna, you take that and you kind of add like a bread to it, and then it's all packaged in one.
So during the lockdown, did you sit inside your kitchen or your man cave or garage and come up with new inventions? Because I took up making soup. That was my mental sickness, or my way of making it through the storm.
Everybody has their own way of dealing with COVID, and I would be lying if I didn't say my mind kept going towards fried foods. How are we going to do this? Or what would be fun? Or actually getting in the kitchen and actually trying it.
What are you like at a grocery store?
I'm crazy. I just start picking up all kinds of different ingredients. I'll do this, I'll take this, and none of it makes sense. I'm putting it on the little belt there, and the lady's just kind of looking at me like, what the hell is this dude?
Now, do you when you go there, can you add spices into the deep fryer and stuff?
Oh yeah, you got to be careful. The intense heat of that fryer tends to kill spices. I mean, that's one of the challenges. You're working in that medium. So whatever you're adding to the deep fryer, you have to know it's going to change when it comes out of the fryer. Yeah. It's our job to make it delicious either way.
One of the things that we've taken note of here in the Carolinas when it comes to deep fryers and stuff like that in restaurants is that there are people that will come and buy that grease because they actually have, I don't know how they did it, but they run their cars on that stuff.
That's the part where we feel like we're giving back to the community. We are actually recycling all our deep fried grease, and it's making buses run. Here in Dallas, they actually use it to run the school buses.
See, it's full circle then for you, isn't it?
Absolutely. We are making a profit, but also giving back.
Now, have you invented your own deep fried object or food in the way that where people go, damn, Abel, what the hell, man? How did you do that? And we didn't even think about it.
Everything that I sell at my booth is original. So I've created everything that I sell. I am the inventor of fried butter. I am the inventor of fried cookie dough, fried PB&Js, fried jambalaya, fried lobster, all those things I came up with.
Fried jambalaya, dude. I mean, we're talking about not only fried, but we're talking spicy.
It's spicy. It has sausage. It has chicken, rice. We serve it with a nice sauce. It is one of our top sellers.
Why are you wasting your time at a fair when you could be doing this in a restaurant?
I actually have a restaurant. We just opened up 2 weeks ago, and I'm sitting here ready to open. So hopefully we get some fried food fanatics coming through our place.
And you know who's going to show up one day unexpected? It's going to be that darn, chef. The God, what's his name? The Gordon Ramsay's going to come knocking on your door one day.
I hope he does, because I think I can show him a couple of things about frying foods. He can show me a lot of things, but he's not going to be able to really school me on frying foods.
Deep fried chocolate with bacon wrapped around it. How is the chocolate ooey and gooey on the inside?
Yeah, so something like that, what you have to do is you got to par bake your bacon and then wrap it around, and you have to put it in the fryer at the right temperature so that the chocolate survives and the bacon gets crispy. It's an art.
Well, speaking of that art, there has to be an art to what is going to give my guest or my client something that's going to make them go, oh my God, I got to tell my friends about this. But at the same time, it can't turn their stomach because there's too much sugar involved.
Well, there are ideas that you have that you think will work, but they don't work. And that's all in the trial. That's all in the test kitchen. It's not just coming up with a great idea. It's coming up with an idea that's actually workable at the fair and that's going to be delicious. You don't want to be a one-off where you had this great idea and everybody thinks they want to try it, but then they try it and they hate it and they never come to your booth again.
But don't you love that, though, the master of reinvention? Because doing the wedding shows and stuff like that, you've always got to come up with the hook. And what is that hook going to be, and will it work? And if it doesn't work, what do you do?
Well, I think that's what makes the people that are involved in this kind of deep fried revolution so special, because they are very creative. All of them are very creative. And they all have the culinary chops to make it happen. So that's what makes it interesting, is seeing these people and how they work and how they come up with these ideas and how they actually execute it.
Because you're such a creative person with that deep fryer, I got to tell you, I've tried this new Coke, which is called Starlight. I love the flavor, but the thing about it is everybody who's tasting it has a different taste about it. I would love to fry it and just see what it would taste like with all that great stuff around it.
And I'm sorry. Now I'm interested. What is this? What is this wonderful product you're working with?
It's called Starlight. It's from Coke, and nobody. Every time you get somebody tastes it, they get a different flavor. Like I think it tastes like cotton candy. Other people say it tastes like s'mores, and everybody's getting a different flavor. It's like, how are we all getting a different flavor from one can of this Starlight?
Well, now you have me really intrigued, because I have never tried the Starlight, and I am the inventor of fried Coke. So this seems like something that I really, really want to try, especially if everybody's getting a different opinion of it. Well, yeah, I need to get my hands on this product.
It's almost like they've done, like they've turned it into the smart soft drink in the way that it's supposed to be different inside your palate.
I'm all over this. I swear I'm going to get off the phone with you and go and try to find some of this product.
Yeah. So what goes into toffee coffee, since we're talking about liquids?
Toffee coffee. I have never heard of this product. I feel like I'm so behind on the times here. Toffee coffee. I am not. The toffee coffee cake. I get you. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay. So it's like a coffee cake. And what they're doing is they're putting pieces of homemade toffee in the middle, and they're kind of rolling it up, and then they're breading it and deep frying it so that when it comes all out, the toffee is starting to melt, sort of, and you get this coffee cake on top of it. It's delicious.
So don't you think that part of the fun of being at the fair and having the deep fried food is me on my side of the booth just watching you make something that you're making for me?
Well, that's I hope that's going to come across on the show. I'm sure it will, because that's a big part of it. It's the fan reaction. It's the people that actually go out and try it. What are they thinking of it? Are they loving it? Are they hating it? Do they think it's too weird to handle? Are they automatically putting it in the garbage can? Yeah. What is the reaction of the people out there that are actually trying it?
How do you react to something like that when somebody goes, oh, blah, 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 blah?
You don't. You kind of laugh it off and you realize that what you're doing is not for everybody, and everybody is not going to love everything you do. So you kind of like, oh, well, it's not for you. Next.
Do you find yourself when you're not at the fair going to flea markets and doing things, or what do you do? I mean, I know you got the restaurant now, but you can't turn off your art.
I am a big fan of our fair, of the State Fair of Texas. I have not really ventured out into other fairs or carnivals or events like that and taken part of that. I figured that we have the best and the biggest state fair in the nation. Mm-hmm. I can't see myself taking a step down from that.
I'm blessed with the opportunity to talk to a lot of the biggest chefs in the nation and around the world. When are you going to write a book and we get to talk again?
Oh, it's definitely in the works. I definitely need to get out there and finish it, because I started it once we were doing fried butter and fried Coke. So a book is definitely in the works.
I love it. I know I'm going to talk to you again, dude, because I love what you're doing and I want to promote what you're doing, and so that people will discover this art that's only seen at fairs.
Thank you so much. I would love to talk to you more about fried foods whenever the opportunity arises.
Absolutely. Will you be brilliant today, okay, sir?
Thank you so much.
Unplugged and totally uncut with Abilene Maverick.
I am here for one reason and one reason only, and that's because I want that.
That is the Wild Championship. And to get that, you gotta earn your way to a championship match.
I'm gonna get my match.
Good morning, Abilene. How are you doing today?
Hey, I am fantastic. How are you?
You've got something very exciting to talk about, and that is WOW, which is Women of Wrestling. Congratulations.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Thank you. It's been a long time coming.
Well, you're absolutely right, because so many people have grown up inside the ranks of wrestling's history, but it doesn't go as deep as what you guys are doing.
No, and a lot of that is because this actually didn't start as WOW, but it started as Glow back in the 80s. So this is like the reimagination of it.
One of the things that's fascinating about this is that you guys are not afraid to talk about the past, and you guys are going to be putting focus on a lot of those historic moments, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of what we want to draw in here for the fans especially is the fact that we do have a lineage, the fact that we do have a very large footprint in the wrestling world, because a lot of people who are new to WOW believe that this company is new to the wrestling world. So we do want to be sure that they know that we actually do have a history, and especially in women's wrestling. Right. I mean, that's the thing, is we were doing an all women's wrestling show before it was cool to do it.
One of the things that's fascinating about the women's wrestling is all the drama. What is that like for you to be able to say, hey, look, okay, we're gonna go right into this thing and we're gonna make it happen?
Okay, so that's the thing, is wrestling reflects real life, especially in WOW. So what's really cool and unique about WOW compared to other wrestling companies is that they will follow us around with cameras outside of the ring in our real life, in our day-to-day life. They see the interactions between the WOW superheroes, and we let those things culminate in the ring in a wrestling match. So that's what's kind of fun about this, is we let the drama outside of the ring and inside the ring. That
is so fascinating, Abilene, because, I mean, that really does show how real you guys really are.
Yes, exactly. It's definitely a whole other take. A lot of times I like to kind of compare it to if you were to combine something like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like a reality show, combine that with wrestling, and that is what you're going to get with WOW. Like, you get to see everything. It's a full circle show. It's amazing.
So, because I'm from Charlotte down here, and this is where a lot of professional wrestling took place. And what happened is that when we would see Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and those guys out there in the real world, they weren't the characters that they were in the ring. What you guys are doing is truly making a connection and a relationship with fans.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what's so cool about it. Like, for instance, they dive deep. Like, we even talk about death in our families. We talk about lineage within our families. In fact, speaking of the wrestling lineage and heritage, we actually just added Tessa Blanchard onto the roster for WOW Women of Wrestling. Her father, Tully Blanchard, who was actually part of the Yes, a part of the original Four Horsemen. So speaking of Ric Flair, that's what's really cool about WOW as well, is that we have a lot of women who, they are WOW originals. They do not wrestle anywhere else. They are solely with WOW. And then we have wrestlers like myself, like Tessa Blanchard, like Santana Garrett, who have made their name all over the world before stepping into WOW. So we bring that type of experience into the ring.
It's that connection to history, because that's one of the things that I learned as being a black belt in martial arts. It wasn't about the kicking and the punching. It was knowing the history, and you guys are embracing the history of WOW and even Glow.
Yes, it's really, really cool. It's nice to connect. It brings back fans, too, the ones who were fans of Glow. They wanted to see a reinvention of it, so this is definitely the time for it, I believe.
Well, one of the things that so many times, when we would watch professional wrestling, it was always when women would come in to wrestle, it was always like that, like a circus act. You guys are making sure that this does not go the circus act way, that this is a lifestyle and it is a way of being a sportsman.
Yes, absolutely. I actually just did a live broadcast for WOW's Instagram last night, and this was one of the things that someone brought up. They said, what kind of wrestling can we expect from WOW? And I said, you have to realize something. This is an all-women's roster. So you're going to get every spectrum of wrestling, just like you would on a men's show. You're going to have those high flyers. You're going to have those lucha wrestlers. You're going to have those ground and pound wrestlers like me. You're going to have those monsters who come out in the ring like Jessica Havoc and the Beast. So I said that's what's so cool about it, is it's a very broad spectrum. We're not going to have just, we're only showcasing this type of wrestler or this type of wrestling match. It's everything.
So that now, of course, being a wrestling fan, there's going to be some cheating going on too, right? I mean, because you got to have some cheating in professional wrestling.
Listen, we are all here to win under any circumstance. And I don't believe it's all cheating. If you were to ask like our champion, if you were to ask like Santana Garrett if she believes we cheat, she would say yes, there are cheaters. But I don't believe there are. I think I'm just winning by any means possible.
To play at this new level of professional wrestling on WOW, does that give you an opportunity to feel what it's like to be a pioneer? Because you guys are starting something that nobody else has tried.
So this is what's so cool is I've actually been with this company for 6 years. That is how long it has taken for people to understand that this is a product that the masses want to see. So yes, I absolutely 1000% feel like a pioneer with this, because a lot of other companies have, that's the thing. People think like, well, so-and-so did an all-women show, so-and-so did it. But that's the thing is, we are the only ones who have dove in 110%, and we believe we can make an entire series out of it. Not just a little one-off, kind of like you were referring to, like the monkeys in the circus, or like a sideshow thing. It's like, we believe that it can be its own brand. It can stand on its own. And that is just, I think it's just so exciting too, because I feel like the women's revolution in the world, that landscape has changed. And I feel like we are just reflecting that.
I would love to be in that promotions department and all those marketing meetings, man, because I'll bet you guys are just pushing every envelope wide open.
Oh, you have no idea. In fact, we actually did a little tongue-in-cheek advertising a few weeks ago, because we want these major companies who have been around for generations, we want them to be, put on notice. We want them to realize that we are not backing down and we're not afraid to play with the big boys. So, yeah, we definitely are full of fire. I think it would be cool for a lot of people to be a fly on the wall during a lot of our meetings, because it's like a war cry. We're coming in 110%. All of us have poured our hearts and souls into this. So I think it's going to reflect very well on screen, for sure.
Now, when I was growing up, wrestling was that one thing that we would get at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, or they would stuff it so early on a Sunday morning. When is WOW going to be on TV so that our listeners can instantly become attracted to it?
So what's really cool is that we are going to be sandwiched in between New Japan Pro Wrestling and also with Access TV Fights, which broadcasts in May. So it's going to be on Friday night at 8 p.m. Central. So this isn't we've got to stay up till the middle of the night, or wake up, at an ungodly hour. This isn't one of those things where you have to DVR it and hope you see it the next day. This is something you can actually go home after work, sit down, relax, have dinner, and watch it with your family.
See, that's what it's all about.
And that's what's so cool about it.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is.
And
we want to make sure we get everybody.
And everybody's going to be getting on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that and be talking about this kind of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a big thing for a lot of people because a lot of people's kids want to tune into this, and nobody wants their kids staying up until midnight or 1 to watch a product. I mean, that's just how it is. So I think that's one of our proudest moments is that we've been finagled into and moved into this really, really cool spot because they believe in it. I think that's what's really cool is that, we have to really tip our hats to David McClain, the creator, and then also to Jeannie Buss because they have fought for us to have this spot. We had to fight, not fight, but, we did have to kind of stake our claim because I don't know if you know anything about New Japan Pro Wrestling, but they are actually one of the largest companies in the world to date and the second largest Japanese company in the world. So their fan base is very cult-like. These guys are awesome. They're with them 110%. So for them to believe that we could step into that light with them, it's very telling of how they feel about our company and how they feel about WOW.
Are we going to be able to see WOW in city to city to city, or is this just going to be television access only?
I'm starting to think that maybe you were tuning into this live broadcast I had last night. This was a major point of discussion for the fans tuning in because I have been day one chanting this from the rooftop. I believe 1,000% that this needs to happen. I think that fans want to see it.
Yep.
I think, in my mind's eye, the way I see it happening, I think by the end of 2019, we should be able to pull off some live events and touring across the country. And then past that, internationally, I've had people from the UK and from Australia, and from Japan as well, who have written me, and I'm sure other ladies as well. And they are like, hey, we love watching this on TV, but there's nothing like a live event. We want to see you guys in person. So absolutely, I think it's going to happen. Of course, I want to jump the gun and say make it happen this year. 2019 is the year. Yeah. But I really do truly believe within the next year or two, you should see us doing a live tour.
Well, Abilene, congratulations on WOW. You really are creating something that's going to be spectacular for the year 2019 and beyond.
Yes, thank you. I 1,000% agree. I just can't wait. I honestly can't.
Unplugged and totally uncut with Brian and Janaea.
And the winner is KORN, Freak on a Leash.
She's cute, huh?
I have plenty of memories from when my dad was in KORN.
I love you, Daddy.
Peekaboo. It changed my perspective on how I saw, love.
Fielded, Jonathan, and Head from the band KORN.
It's like the ultimate way of everything you could ever want.
I was up there making the drinks, chopping lines, rolling joints.
I'm a new person. I'm going to be a great dad.
Janae, get down, please.
I'll just have a couple beers.
I saw naked chicks walking around.
He was a master at hiding it.
I was just scared that I was going to screw up the kid like I was screwing up myself.
I had addiction to methamphetamine.
All of the other kids had their mom and dad come to Mother's Day or Father's Day.
I couldn't stop being bad to my body. I couldn't stop these addictions. I had become an animal. I just looked up and I just said, Father,
I can't pray when I'm on drugs.
Do anything you want to my life.
How do I pay a phone bill?
How can you change so suddenly?
How do I know this is real? Like to be afraid.
He's like, Janaea, I'm quitting KORN. I'm gonna stay home. And I'm like, wait, is that even allowed?
I was devastated. God's telling me to do this, and God's telling me, I'm like...
That was an act of love for himself and his daughter.
But I immediately started making bad choices.
He had been physical, punching holes in walls.
She just couldn't connect with anybody.
I assumed things were gonna be different.
People offered her drugs and like, dang it!
I got physical, I flipped tables.
I can't control my rage, I'm stressed out.
I just wanted someone to realize I'm hurting.
She says, I cut myself because of you.
And I said, I hate you. You're a whore.
I gave up everything for you.
My daddy was a rock and roll.
Everybody that doesn't live their life like this, that's who's crazy.
My daddy was a rock and roll.
Good morning, you two. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
How you doing, Arroe? Is it Arroe?
Isn't that fantastic?
Dude, that threw me off.
It's that radio thing, Instead of going on there calling myself John Smith or Wolfman Jack, I'll just call myself Arroe.
I love it.
So what is it like for you two today to be talking about this incredible documentary? Because isn't every interview another reason to jump back into the nightmare?
Dude, what a great question, right? Out of the gate. You know what? We're so healed. I think, I'll speak for me, and I think you do, but you can add in. But we are so healed from all of it,
Yep.
Talking about it doesn't hurt anymore, I'll tell you what, though, watching the movie, and we're going to go to a screening at the Grammy Museum in Hollywood, Los Angeles, whatever, next week, and that it hurts to watch it, honestly, some of it. But talking about it, it's totally fine, and we're doing this as a labor of love. Documentaries don't make much money, and we're so stoked with it and what the creative team did. And so, yeah, it's all worth it, and just to help people and spread the love,
Yep, that's the only reason. There's no glorification of us. It's really just to help people.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Janaea, you really are helping people because you're very open and honest with teen depression. And more importantly, you caught my attention when I heard that you were a cutter. You never stopped being a cutter. You just learned to live with it.
I mean, honestly, I learned with me, my self-harm was more of attention seeking, which wasn't really a bad thing. It was just I didn't know how to use my words to tell people that I'm hurting. You know what I mean? And there was so much emotion inside of me that I just had to let it out somehow. You know what I mean? And I think so many teens feel that way. And so for me, it was more of like being able to learn how to communicate and be and love myself, and be confident in myself. That I just learned that I don't need to harm myself to feel.
Let me ask you. I'll be the interviewer now.
All right.
So, was it that thing where like you had so much pain inside, and when you cut it released the emotional pain too?
Well, it was.
I mean, for me, honestly, I think that's a part of it, but I think most of it was more like letting people know that like, look at me, something's wrong with me, like I'm not okay, and I didn't know how to say that.
So does that qualify it as that maybe you were numb and you basically had to put a mark on the canvas to get someone's attention so that somebody could get you to just reignite?
Honestly, yeah, and I feel like so many kids feel that way, is numb,
A documentary like this one doesn't fall from the universe. You guys had to have gotten closer to the universe in order to bare your souls the way that you have.
Mm.
You know what? My faith is my everything, and so I think that's what's given me the strength to be able to share all these deep things. And I think that gift has been passed down to my daughter as she was 15, letting us film her counseling sessions where she's in tears, and it's all in the documentary. So totally, I agree with you.
Yeah.
What was that your future self talking to you? Because I mean, how did you get this film and stuff like that? It just didn't happen. You were keeping it to save it, to learn from it, to teach from it.
Totally, and just to tell the story, because ever since I started telling my story in my books and everything, I have talked to countless people about how it's helped them, and life has gotten better for so many people, or I just want to keep doing that, because that is what gives me just joy in life, to see everything, the rock star stuff, that's fun. I get to bang my head, for a living. And so, but just to really have a meaning in life for me is helping people. And so that's the way we do it,
You're talking about that rock star life. I mean, being on the radio, I get to do this 5 hours a day. You get that rush, you get that high when you're in the performance, but did you go through post-production blues after it was over?
Oh, totally. I think it's a combination of things, where like that, the big stage is over, the lights, all that's over, and you're what now? Oh, okay, I'll do some drugs,
Yep.
And then there's the self-hatred aspect of like, and then there's the aspect of like, okay, I made it here to rock stardom. So how come it doesn't feel like everything is satisfied now? Like there's got to be more to life. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, I think what people don't know about being a rock star or whatever is that it's like a circus, really. Yeah. You go on stage, you do your dance, and you get off, and you pack up and leave for the next day and do the same exact thing over and over. So it can become, difficult.
Yeah, it's new for the fans in a different city, but for you, it's the same day as the day before. It's crazy.
When you release something this heavy off from your heart, all of a sudden the music comes back to life inside your mind. Are you starting to write new music, or did you even want to do a soundtrack that would have gone with this documentary?
That's a great
man.
Thank you for that question. Yeah. We really didn't have the budget, I think, to do like the full on, to get really crazy with the music. So I do have, the soundtrack is like really unique, and it's got some old songs. It's got some, like, I think the Johnny Cash is in there. Yeah. And then it's got some like my side project, Love and Death. And it's got obviously a lot of KORN, but yeah, it would have been cool if I was actually thinking about doing the score with my producer friend Jason Rao, who's in Breaking Benjamin, but didn't work out. But I'm so pleased with the music and the score and and everything. Right? It's really unique.
Yeah.
How did you stay true to yourself, Janaea, in the way that, see, my stepdaughter, her father is a producer in Nashville, and he toured and stuff with Madonna and Michael Jackson. But she became not a regular person around in other words, every circle she went into, it was almost like she didn't really have to communicate because it wasn't the people that she was normally hanging out with.
Yeah, I mean, my first reaction is poor girl. That's the first thing I go to, because it's so difficult, because people think they know you and know your family, but you don't know them, and they have already established opinions about you, and especially in Nashville, it's hard because people just want to see what they can get from you.
Right.
And so
she had a hard time in Nashville, man. I moved her there, like,
it was difficult.
Yeah, in 2010. Yeah.
All my friends in Nashville are like, I gotta get out of here. All the kids.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
But I love Nashville, but I guess it was bad back then.
So, I mean, to be honest, staying true to myself, I didn't know who I was for a long time because of there's this aspect, but also I didn't have a mother figure in my life. If I did, they were in and out, in and out. Yeah. And so I think it was really hard to find who I really was. But then when I was 14, I went to a boarding school called Awakening Youth. And pretty much it had like 14 girls at the time, and it was just a normal little big house, honestly. And I just lived normal life. I went to school, I played sports, and I got counseling and therapy. And honestly, that was the best thing for me because I learned who I was. I built confidence in myself, and I unpacked everything that that was hurting since I was a kid.
One of the things that I've learned about writers, people the lyricists, songwriters, poets, and things like that, is they like to hide behind those lyrics. Janaea, have you gone back into your father's words and tried to study where he was when those words fell from his writing instrument?
No, I don't think so. I think
another great question.
It's a great question.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I haven't really, because I think I don't know. I was very concerned about I've always been about protecting him because of his I don't know, what's the word, like rock stardom or whatever.
Right. Like a little bit of fame.
Whatever, fame,
like
yeah.
Sea level.
Whatever. But
sea level celebrity.
Gosh. And I don't know. I've always been very protective of him and how what kind of people are around him and stuff. And so I always wanted to see him as a person. And so I never looked into his music or whatever and try to, you know what I mean? I think we communicated good just as father-daughter, like normal people. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Somewhere along the line, this documentary has got to put you guys on that TED Talk stage, because this is motivational, it's inspirational, and it's life-changing.
Thank you so much. Dude, that would be awesome.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Score right there. Man, you have a lot of wisdom, my friend. Thank you for the questions.
Yeah.
Right there. That would be a first, I think. Will 2 people do it together? We should try for that.
Oh,
Kristen, publicist. She's going to do it.
Now, Janae, what are you doing with that voice? Are you going to do radio? Because you can't have a voice like that and keep it away from the world.
Stop. Thank you. Oh, my gosh. That's so nice. I mean, hey, maybe.
Sky's the limit, kid.
Thanks.
It's also a performance, too. We just talk. We don't get to sing, but we get to talk.
Yeah, man, that's actually a good idea.
Honestly, her face too pretty for radio. She needs to get out there.
I love it. Well, congratulations on this rockumentary. And once again, you guys are going to be at the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles on the 12th. And then the rest of the world gets to catch up on the 14th when it appears on Showtime. That's got to be something that is totally way off normalism for you guys.
Totally. This is a first, man, and we're so proud of the team that has put this film where it's at, and we're thankful to Showtime. And all the information is at loudcrazylove.com, crazy with a K. So, you know, everybody spread the word if you could. You know, it's grassroots kind of, you know, and it's a labor of love. So we appreciate all the help.
And when you do a documentary like this, be honest with me, Brian, does this make you want to pull off a Rob Zombie and start doing some scary movies and all different types of movies? I mean, because you're in the biz now.
Hey.
You know what? I'm open, man, because, you know, I'm an artist and I love doing new things. And so that would be really cool.
You know what he needs to do? Voice acting.
Yes.
He's incredible.
Why would you say that? I don't understand why.
That's a rock Casey Kasem there.
Hey.
Yeah.
You guys have a brilliant day today, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking to us, man.